Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how I cut a flow. The flow has made a serious comeback and I am living for it. We love to see it. Oh my god, we love to see it! You like it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The flow hairstyle, also known as hockey hair, has been worn by everyone from professional hockey players to laid-back beach surfers. In the Victorian era, which was around 1830s to the 1890s, the flow rose to fame. However, by the 1950s, it fell out of the spotlight and was replaced by the pompadour. In today's times, the haircut has evolved to a handful of different styles. For some men, the look is closer to a subtle, shaggy hairstyle, and for others, they prefer to keep it more clean cut. Today, I want to show you how I go about achieving the shag look for someone with medium to thick hair. This is hands down one of my favorite haircuts to do, and I can't wait to share it with you. So I'm just going to start off by wetting his hair and parting it into sections. I like to part away the top half of the hair and cut my guide with the lower half of the hair. My client gave me a reference for where he wants to see his hair falling. So as you can see here, I'm checking with him and I'm going to start my guide there. I'm going to angle in the hair in the front. And I'm going to angle it into the hair in the back. I'm just really connecting the dots all the way around the head. As you can see, I've just gone about connecting both sides of the hair so I can start with the even canvas on both sides. Now I'm going to drag down all of the hair and I'm going to begin to layer the sections into the guide I just created. I like to leave the front part out for last because that is going to go a little shorter than everything else, and then I will blend it into the hair, you'll see. So as you can see, I'm connecting that bottom section to the top layer of his hair. And you can see the excess being cut off. I always like to let my clients know during this portion, it's not length being cut out at this point, it's just weight. The length lives on the perimeter. And as long as we keep that long into the reference point, then we can add in layers in the interior of their hair without sacrificing their length. I've had these sections described to me as pie sections. If that helps you, then we'll call them pie sections. The most important thing that you can do for yourself during this haircut is you'll notice that I will continue to drag the previous section into my new section so I can have that guide traveling with me. Depending on the hair texture, you won't always use the very bottom of the guide to use to cut. Sometimes I will leave that bottom perimeter out that I started with, and I'll layer the top portion of the hair by itself in really short. The reason for that is some clients that have thin hair, you don't really want to cut into that bottom baseline. When you keep it more solid and you let the layers live on top of it, it makes the hair look fuller and thicker. If you can see on that left side of his head, you can tell how much weight is in the hair right there compared to the right side of the head. That is the effect that this layering has on the haircut. That's what creates that flow. And he has thick hair. He has medium to thick hair, more on the thicker side, but it's not thick enough to give me hair splinters. That's how I dictate if someone's hair is thick. With that being said, for this particular hair type and texture, I find myself point cutting throughout the hair. I find that this creates that really effortless feathered look, but it also keeps a nice amount of texture in there because you're not solidly cutting all of the hair the same length, and that is intentional. So I'm just continuing to work my way around the head. I'm almost done now. And I'm using those pie sections and I'm cutting right there from the shortest point as my guide and making my way up the head. I pull the hair out exactly where it lives on the head, and I'm just cutting it from the shortest point, which is my guide. Woo! Look at it all coming together. You know, when the head starts shaking, the flow starts baking. You know what I'm saying? I really advise you, if you really want to nail down this cut, focus on the weight. Most of the time, when you can get all of that solid weight out of the interior of the hair and create that really nice feathered look, that's what creates this look. That's how this look has become my signature look, because I have listened to my clients in the consultation, knowing that they don't want to take a lot of length out of the perimeter, but they want that effortless flow back look. And you see how his hair is just naturally starting to flow back? That's all he wants to see. So now we're going to get into cutting that front length. If you can tell, I'm kind of using my finger as a reference. And this is just a skill I've kind of taught myself. But where my finger is that's how I know that the hair is going to fall right where his eye is, the outer corner of the eye. And that seems to be a really popular spot for people to want their hair to hit. And I'll cut it there, and then I'll just start to angle everything in. And I'll make sure that it's even on both sides. This is actually going to be my first time doing this particular technique on his hair, but I've been so obsessed with wolf cuts lately, and I've done a few back to back, that I feel like this would be a really good technique to integrate into this cut. So just like a wolf cut, when you pull the hair straight forward, well, the hair that lives in the front of the head, in front of where the comb would balance on top of the head, all of that hair that you would use in a shag haircut, I'm going to cut it the exact same way I would cut a shag. I'm going to pull it straight forward, and I'm going to cut it in a square line, because a square cut on a round head makes the hair naturally round out. And you'll see that happening organically as I just cut it without even really having to blend it in too much. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm connecting the dots. I'm dragging the hair straight forward towards me, and I'm cutting in a square. And that's going to create that rounded angle in the front, which will blend it all in. Since this is one of my signature cuts, I'm able to tell just by the eye where there might be a little bit of a length difference, especially as I connect that front to that back with all the layering that we have going on in this haircut. But right now, I'm just really putting the cherry on top by blending in everything, cross checking everything, seeing if there's any spots where I feel like there might still be a little bit too much weight. He likes to keep the heaviness in his hair. He doesn't mind it. It's mainly the length for him since he's an athlete. But still, there's some parts where you will be able to see where you can tweak it a little bit more as you um, get used to cutting this haircut. But you can see the areas that I'm attacking right now. When I attack them, I get a little bit more of a flip, which is what I'm going for. As you can see, right here is a particularly heavy spot because it sits really flat and really straight. So I'm just going to get that bottom guide. See, I had a little bit of a missing connection right here, and I'm just going to blend that all in. And once I drop that hair, you're going to see how much more of that flip effect that we get right off the bat, just like that. So when you see those flatter areas of the hair, that lets you know, hey, there's a little bit too much weight here. The hair is weighed down. And I tell clients that a lot when they feel like their hair isn't doing anything, or it's just they always get in that mood like, I think I should try something new. It's like, no, you just need a haircut. That's literally it. So we're going to finish my guy up. I like to dry the hair a little bit and push it backwards so I can see the areas that need to be cut. Like his long sideburns right there. He has like a little bit of like a curly flu right there by his ear, but he likes to keep that, and really it's just because of like the way I just dried it with a blow dryer that it looks like it's puffing out. So that's fine if you notice that and it bothers you. I like to go around the edges of long hair with the trimmer just to really clean it up. Some of my guys wear headbands, some of my guys might do a little bun, so I just like to make sure that when they pull it up and push it back that it still looks really clean. Finally, I'm going to style him with the Victory Barber Primer Volume and Texture Tonic. It's comparable to sea salt spray. And I'm going to pair that with the dry grooming cream for it to stick to. I love grooming cream for flows. And I'm going to use a pick actually to style those feathered layers back. Pro tip. And there we have a beautiful flow. Yes, sir. This is absolutely one of my favorite haircuts, and I really hope that I have taught you something, even if it was just one or two helpful nuggets that you can take away when you do your next long haircut. If you guys have learned anything today, I will encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. And one more time, let's see that inspo pic. Look at his face. You know he's knowing the ladies are going to love this one. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been helpful.